Welcome back to the Neurospiritual Awakening podcast. I am your host, Dr. Val. As always, great to be here with a new and very exciting and very long time no see kind of guest. So, Luiza, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Um, yeah, it's so good to have you. Thanks for accepting my invite. I know we haven't kind of spoken or really seen each other for like 20 years, but hey, to me, you still look and feel the same, even though lots of things
Right.
lots of
Totally.
things have happened and like we've had kids and we've moved and blah, blah, blah. But listen, we can catch up on that in a separate episode or offline. For now, I just really am thrilled that you accepted my invite to be here to talk about your awakening process, just as every other guest has. So I really, really do appreciate it. I know that it may not be a comfortable thing to talk about and speak about, and most often it's not. But hey, this is what the podcast is about. So without any further ado, please introduce yourself and we'll just jump into it.
Sure. What do I want to share? Well, my name is Luiza. We used to go to school together when we were much younger, a couple of years ago in Canada. I moved to many places. Right now, my home base is California. I am a full-time solo mom to an amazing 5-year-old who is full of life and definitely has challenged me. And she is one of my awakening experiences. Yeah, there's been several. So I don't think there's only one, but there's definitely been one that was a bigger one. And as you saw, I just finished my counseling degree 2 weeks ago, and that was a huge undertaking. I moved to California for school, and I'm building my private practice. A very busy person.
Oh my
I'm
God.
slowly coming back. Yeah, and here we are today. So it took me many years to find my purpose and what I was here to do, and I feel like I'm finally doing it, finally touching the thing that I'm here to do, and it's just so extraordinary. I'm just so in awe and happy and elated to do this work and work one-on-one with people. I also work with groups with trauma, and I just absolutely love it. So things are good and busy, and like how many weeks did it take us to even book this session?
I know hey, you're busy, and look, I'm thrilled that we're talking, and just like I want to acknowledge you for all the work that you do, and I'm thrilled that it is your life purpose. So no matter how it may sound to the outsider, some people are like, "Oh, just like that sounds intense," but when it's your purpose, it's not like that. I mean, yes, you're tired, and I'm tired, and all of that stuff, but it's also very um nurturing and life-giving. Sometimes a person's like 70 and they're like, hey, I found my purpose now. So what's time really? But I do get the length and the time it takes to quote unquote get there. And it's like, who knows what happens next anyway.
Right. You know, everything you just said is true. It felt long to really hone in and find out what I really wanted to focus on and what I really was good at and what my gifts were. And it was a process. My dad criticized me a couple weeks ago. He said, "You're 40 and going back to university." I'm like, well, I had to live stuff. Like, I couldn't be a therapist if I didn't have any experience. Like, what would I be counseling people on?
Oh my gosh, totally. Lived experience is it's such a thing. I did a whole spiel on it a couple of episodes ago, just like a solo one, but literally it's there's the theoretical knowledge and everything. I mean, everything that I know as a behavioral neuroscientist, and then there's the presentation of something like psychosis. Like try to theory me that. The-
Right.
Do you know what like it's impossible. So yeah, I'm all about lived experience. So very
Mhm.
thrilled. All right. And hey, I remember your dad. He's awesome. I love your dad. Shout out to your dad.
Thank you. Oh my God, I can't believe you remember him.
Oh my gosh, he tutored me in math and physics, remember, in college because
Oh, I don't remember that he did that. Well,
yeah,
not that he
yeah.
did that, probably because he did tutor a couple of my friends. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love your dad. And hey, parents criticize us all the time. They do it with love. I mean, my mom's here visiting me And
Oh,
so I've had a fair share. I get
I believe
it.
it. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Okay. Yeah, all the triggers get
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
surface, they're alive.
It's
Um,
part of our life, isn't it? It's part of the this incarnation and what we chose. So I'm rolling with it. As we said at the start, I'm rolling with it.
right.
Okay, well, listen, tell us, or let's dive into the awakening process. And listen, I understand that the birthing, like the becoming of a mother, and that whole thing is rude awakening as well, as it has been for me with my kids.
Mhm.
And we can talk about that too. But also, if there's another one, and it seems to be the case with multiple people that I've interviewed, is like they have multiple awakenings, and I think we all do throughout our life. But I just tell people, listen, pick one or two, and let's jam about them now.
Right, I hear you. And today at the office, I was reading a book about that, and I just fell on a page that was like, we'll have different layers of different awakenings. And I do relate with that because I don't know if awakening is really one experience. Some people understand awakening as a Kundalini awakening, which I've definitely experienced. And I didn't experience only once, I've experienced it multiple times. And the more I do this work, the more freaking layers there are. It's not like we're done, this is it. Like, and you think it is. And you're like, I used to have this vision of awakening as this destination that I'd get to. And I really I expected to arrive somewhere and like there was all these awakened people and like everybody would know and that there was a vibe. I don't know where I got that from, but I was really stuck on that until later, like during that moment, I realized that I was already in it. It was already happening, but I had no idea because I was expecting something different to look like. Um, but to share about the first one, so the main ones were two. The first one was after an ayahuasca experience, and I did end up in psychosis. So my Kundalini awakening, I wasn't grounded enough and I completely dissociated. And I've stayed in that state for almost a year,
Wow.
which was traumatic is not the word. I don't have words to describe that experience. It was absolutely terrifying, terrorizing. I never thought I'd come out of that state. And I was able to like see the world as it was with all the layers opened and it was just chaos. It was chaos. It was insanity. Beautiful things. I've learned some amazing things. Um, but my fear was that I'd never get out of that state.
Yeah.
I was even hospitalized. It was a whole big thing. So that was my first awakening was kind of brutal. And I don't know anyone that had a peaceful awakening, honestly. I don't know if I do. Maybe you met some. Did you ever?
From the people that I've interviewed, again, it depends what people choose, right? Which awakening layer they choose to discuss. But
Hmm.
from memory, listen, I have to troll back through every episode, but from memory, a lot of people, it ain't a pretty one for a lot of people. Different flavors, of course. Not everybody gets hospitalized with psychosis, although I've had a bunch of guests say, reiterate that experience as part of the process. And people sometimes born into situations which already look so distinct that it doesn't just come as like this huge phenomenon. So I've had many people kind of, yeah, discuss the different layers. And for some people it is a gradual thing, not as extreme. Yeah, it is. Okay, now that I've said all that, I think it is a bit different for people, but I've definitely heard what you describe as a flavor, for
Mm,
sure.
interesting. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing. Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess somehow I couldn't believe it in the moment, but somehow I chose this kind of direct, it's very brutal. And the way my father would describe it is that I burned a lot of steps. Instead of doing gradually, I just like went for the finale and and I really got burned and
Mm.
it was very hard. It was very traumatic. It took me about 5 to 7 years to recover from that
Yeah. Yeah.
experience. But then it shaped everything that I became. I went into studying energy work and eventually psychology and I remained with gifts. So one of the gifts I have is mediumship. I'm able to channel messages for people. because I got so open, and I also got trained in that modality. But
Wow.
it
And did
definitely,
that happen after the fact? Like you went into the awakening without the, well, maybe, hey, we don't never know whether we had them or not, but it's like sometimes they get unlocked through certain experiences. So from what I gather, what you're saying is that experience, as unpleasant, for the lack of a better expression, as it was, it unlocked these kind of this mediumship capacity and maybe unveiled and opened it up a bit more.
well, yes, and I did have some capacity before, but I didn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
After that experience, I was able to access it more and just understand it more, I guess. And
Yeah.
then, like I said, I also got trained in it to use those gifts and to know how to work with it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, many good things came from that. And then the second one would be when I had my daughter. And I believe it's when I gave birth, there was really a shift. There was really something happening physiologically and spiritually when we give birth. I believe a lot of women go through it. Maybe not every woman, depending on their awareness levels. But for me, definitely, there was definitely a huge awakening. As like, I couldn't believe that there could be more. I was like, whoa. It was just such a huge experience. And parts of it were traumatic, parts of it were absolutely beautiful, wonderful, blissful. And that's the beauty of awakening. It's like the polarity of both the beauty and the ugly, like all in one, and living all the feelings in one peak experience or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Definitely shaped me, both of them. Those would be the experiences I've had. I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be more.
Right? Oh my goodness. As we go through life, there's, as you say, there's, although it occurs in a linear fashion for a human brain, it's not, but um, I kind of, maybe it's to our advantage that it does occur in a linear way to us, because otherwise we'd really be fried. Um, or our
Right.
brain. Yeah. We would be. But I love what you said, right? Like, about the multifaceted nature and the good and the bad and the ugly and the amazing stuff. Again, for it's hard to comprehend for the human mind and be able to express it in words sometimes, right? The layers and the multifaceted nature of the experience. I think sometimes it's not for it's beyond the grasp of what we could explain. And obviously there's a lot of philosophies and esoteric teachings and people going through this thing and supporting others going through this thing, which, hey, the whole intention of this is to do that. But again, until it happens for you in whatever flavor, iteration, or wave, it's kind of hard to explain, isn't it? We can talk about it, but then there's being in it.
Right.
Hmm.
Very
Hmm.
different experience and very hard to put into words. And you're right, like there's been so many esoteric writings and people writing about it, and it's a lived experience. It's something we go through. There's nothing preparing us for this. I believe.
I know. Well, I've been listening to like a lot of ND near death experiences when people go to the other side and then they come back and like with gifts sometimes, most often than not, people come back with gifts and they kind of talk about this reality as a dream and that being the real deal, right? So it's very interesting, but and also they talk about how before this incarnation we know everything, like we know what we're signing up for, right? And it's
Mm.
kind of like birth, like after, because I've had one traumatic birth and a second one which was healing for me anyway, right? So it's like after the first one I was like, no, I'm not having kids, but then sometime
Got the
later I was like, I want a baby. So it's kind of like that, I think, with incarnation. I mean, that's one example I could give with, you know what you're getting into. It's not going to be nice, and you choose all these things that you want to experience, right? But then when you're in it, you're like, the fuck was I thinking? But it's the
Right.
same with birth. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? I mean, my first birth,
Yeah.
horrible, traumatic. I had a cesarean where the anesthetic didn't work. Like, the whole thing was just fucked, right? And then the second baby was 8 years later. Like, talk about it took me some time, but
Right.
nonetheless, I was like, I'm having another, I'm having another
And
baby,
how
right?
was it, the second one?
It was amazing. Not like, again, not how I planned it, right? Like I wanted a free birth, nobody there. No, it didn't happen that way at all. But right, but hey, and it was a 4-day labor, like full on labor, not even pre-labor. Like it's 4 days of contractions, like less than 5 minutes apart,
Oh,
making all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was intense, but you
yeah.
know, I was very empowered after it. So that's how I like to live my life these days is
Like that.
take what empowers me because I don't know. As you said, I'm gonna be 39 next month and I'm like I have the capacity to choose what empowers me versus not. Not like in a La La Land type of way. I'm a very real, I'm realistic as well. I'm a neuroscientist and all that, but at the same time, I choose to come out of experiences and look at, okay, well, what empowered me from that? So the second birth was very empowering in that sense. Definitely not a free birth, definitely not a pain-free birth and any of
Yeah.
that kind of, yeah, I didn't have a
Yeah,
beautiful
that kind of crap.
yeah, yeah, no, it was not like that at all, which I'm not saying that's not possible because hey, I've listened to so many stories of women who had this like amazing
That
orgasmic
should be your
birth.
next podcast.
Right, yeah, 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 right. Orgasmic birth. No, my birth was not orgasmic, okay? It really no. It was not, you
Right.
know. But it was my experience and I chose it and it was empowering. So definitely it was definitely
I
empowering. That's
hear
all I
you. I hear you. And for my birth experience, I only had one so far, and all of it was amazing. There was complications. I got transferred to the hospital as crowning, but when my daughter came out, I did have an orgasm. It
Wow.
was the most empowering, most beautiful, and the feeling in my body was just incredible. With all the doctors, nurses, masks on, the whole enchilada.
Yeah.
Um, but it was absolutely incredible. And again, like all like the ugly and the hard parts were there, and all the beautiful and empowering experience was there. And in a way, I think that's kind of what describes awakening.
I think so.
All of
Yeah,
it
and
in one.
well, isn't it amazing that as women, we kind of have that advantage, if you will, to experience that through birth? And that's like 50% of the population.
Right.
Sorry, guys out there, you have to find other ways.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but men who are attuned to their partner can have the exact same birthing experience as the women when they give birth.
No idea. I mean,
If a
no.
man is tuned in with his partner, he can have the exact same, the Kundalini, everything that the woman, the contractions. Um,
Wow.
same.
I, g- I guess I'm
I've
a
never
near.
met one that did, but I know it's possible.
Neither have I. Neither have I. But listen, I'm open to the possibility of that. And people can like, if you're listening and you're like, oh, no way, just because of our, our physiology is different and the way that we perceive pain. I can see that from a neural perspective, neuroscientific perspective, what you're saying makes sense because our brain really does create the vast majority of our reality. So even if you don't, quote unquote, inhabit a female body, I can see how if your mirror neurons are tuned to your partner's neurons and you can literally experience like being in
What
that
they're
body.
experiencing.
I can
Yeah.
that
Ooh, I got chills.
neuroscientifically, yeah, neuroscientifically that makes sense to me and
Good.
spiritually that makes sense to
Yeah.
me and I can get that a lot of people can be like no. But you know what? Again,
Well,
I whatever.
like,
we have
would
the
you have another one, Val?
yeah, yeah. And listen, so I'm not even gonna have to what interview an orgasmic birth person because you just told me you had an orgasmic birth. So hey, scratch that. I've got you. So we've already explored the orgasmic birth part. Listen, I would. I mean, I'm a single mom, so who knows
You
how
are?
that'll happen. But these days, anything's possible, right?
I didn't
Um,
know you're single.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got 2 kids, and I'm a single mom, and running
Partner.
my business and teaching at uni and doing it all and I
More
like
things
that.
in common than I thought.
Oh, totally. No, no, no. So that's why when I invited you, I get the world of it. Do not worry. I get the
I
world
did
of
not
it.
know that.
Yeah.
Same dad?
No, I've got two different dads, two different kids, 8 years apart.
Interesting. We should do some therapy.
Yeah, right. Maybe not on a public
No,
platform
no,
like
no.
maybe not right here, right now, not
Oh
on
my god.
YouTube, but I'm all, I'm open. As I said, it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Explored some good topics.
right, totally. And inside like this whole neurospiritual awakening theme that I've been exploring, the two are never yeah, the two are never separate in my experience, like the neuroscience and the spiritual aspect and the different layers of our beings, they're always intertwined. Very, very cool. But yeah,
This
listen,
was
yeah, I would have another baby and I'd probably go for the whole free birth thing and orgasmic birth thing again. And then, the way that it happens will probably be nothing like it, but I don't care.
right, right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but for the listeners out there, not that I'm seriously planning this. This is just like an open question, and what I'm saying is I'm not a no, but this is not in my plans. And my plans is to grow my business. You know what I mean? Make a difference to a whole bunch of people that are going through the awakening process, and ultimately probably expand and like on a global level make a difference, become a philanthropist. That's what's really in my plans. The baby's not in my plans, but a baby is never really in your plan.
Right. And I hear a lot of people or women say that it's not in their plan, they don't necessarily want a baby, but from my experience, my child is what gave me the purpose, the direction. She solidified me, she grounded me, like before, I mean, I don't know. I was just doing my own thing and I could travel and do what I wanted when I wanted. And now it's like, oh man, I really have to get serious. I have to provide. I have to like be on top of shit, which I didn't need to before. So, and she gave me that awakening. Like she provided such, I don't know, such a change in my life. Like
Hmm.
my daughter is the most important part of my purpose. The rest is like great. I love it. And yeah, I love what I do, but I
Hmm.
don't know, she just gave me so, so, so much. I'm so grateful. And even with the hardships and oh my God, it was so hard. Still is sometimes, but she made it all worth it and all my purpose. I mean,
Yeah. There's
in a way, like I cannot not encourage people to not have kids because it's like that is like the number one way to become selfless. And then the rest, like being a philanthropist when you're in the ego mindset doesn't work.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's what I'm going for. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and you're not that,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean, having kids and having that awakening kind of dies the ego every time. So it's making us in a very different, it's bringing us in a very different way and levels and awareness and being there for other people in a selfless way,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, no, kids are catalysts and gifts, and yeah, for whatever reason, I chose to have the two kids for now. And I know that some people, I've got friends who don't have kids and they're on their own spiritual journey, and it's like, as I was saying before, there's so many different avenues, but yeah, an awakening through childbirth and being a parent and a mother is definitely an awakening process. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Right. And you're
Um,
right. There's avenues for every path. It's just, I guess, yeah, I guess definitely for me and for you, I think having children was part of that.
yeah,
Mhm.
otherwise we wouldn't
So
we wouldn't have any. Um, And listen, but to go back to the ayahuasca journey, right? Because I did an ayahuasca journey as well in 2013, and I had to do a lot of work after that because it did open me up as well. And there was the beauty, the ugliness, all of that kind of stuff. It didn't follow with such a drastic kind of thing of psychosis afterwards, but it definitely wasn't pretty either. And I actually interviewed a psychologist on this podcast. I don't remember what episode, but she deals with a lot of people who are traumatized and then seek healing through that experience, and that's not what they get.
yeah,
Right.
right.
So it's so important. I just want to loop back to that. And it's so important to really, yeah, to really know who you're working with, not, and who you are before. I'm not saying don't do ayahuasca either. Well, I'm probably am saying don't do ayahuasca these days because fuck, to me, I don't even know who would be Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like you'd really have to do a lot of thorough research and who the facilitator is and blah blah blah.
There are
Uh
some good out there, but you need to be in conjunction with trauma work and be in a safe, facilitated space. And there's unfortunately too many that are not.
it's so bad these days. I mean, yeah, I've mentioned this many times before on this podcast just because I interview a lot of people who deal with people who've had very bad experiences and I have to literally pick up the fragments of their soul lost in all
Oh yeah.
sorts of
Oh
places.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, just
Mhm.
another little memo to the listeners. Don't do an ayahuasca journey with who knows who these days. Yeah.
Be really sure to find the right person, the right container in a way
Yeah.
that's really safe and do the trauma work before, like you have to be grounded in yourself and know yourself and then you can do it. But if you're doing it to find yourself, you have to
Mm,
be really mindful because you
mm,
will. That's
mm,
what happened to me. And it was very hard. It was
mm.
very hard.
And speaking of, so another question I have for you, given that you're an expert, in the counseling field and all that, like what about people who don't want to do, because there's many different flavors of trauma work, right? And I'm not saying it's a one model fit all, like God knows I've had my own experience and what I've done and blah blah blah. But would you say, like, what's your advice on that? Like, I don't know. Like, I know people who are like, I'm never going to go to see a therapist. Like, what then? Then just forget about trauma? Like, how?
Marianne Williamson says there's two ways to awakening: psychotherapy or spiritual work.
Mm,
So you choose, people choose. They can do spiritual work. For me, what happened was that I did only spiritual work. And then I had an experience such as ayahuasca where it opened me and all the wounds came up, but then I had no tools. So what I'd say that therapy is very taboo, especially in our culture. Eastern Europe is like, it's for crazy people, institutionalized people. That is BS. I really believe that they don't want people to awake so that, and also you have to find a good therapist. A lot of them I don't think are very good.
yeah, not at
Not
all.
not because I'm criticizing them better, just because they're just trained from a school perspective, but they don't necessarily have the experience. You really want to look for someone who is trauma based, and in my field is somatic based, so I really work with emotions and body. So the
Yes,
connection mind body spirit.
yes,
Otherwise, like what are we doing?
yes,
But everybody's gonna meet the therapist that fits them and that resonates with them.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if you don't do your trauma work, God's spirit will force you. It will give events and experiences to make you look inside. And if you keep resisting, there'll be more experiences, accidents, issues, divorces, death, like just to help you go and look inwards. So I really believe that there's both ways. But for me, in my field, I'm doing both spiritual and therapy work. I believe that the therapy work really gives tangible tools that really help people to
mm.
have tools when the trauma comes up, like during an ayahuasca ceremony or a mushroom or period, whatever you do for
Or
any trauma.
like,
If you
yeah,
don't have tools, you're gonna
or
freak
birth.
out.
Or birth, right?
Sure. Yeah,
Postnatal psychosis is a thing.
100%.
Like,
It's a
yeah.
thing. Depression, anxiety, psychosis.
Yeah.
Again, all invitations for us to look inwards and to do the work. And it
Yes.
doesn't matter how we do the work, but therapy will definitely give those tools.
Yes.
So I
Wow.
think there is a collective agreement to make it taboo in many cultures, and I think we need to get rid of that.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot because you look back around to the Eastern European origins. We didn't even say because you have a Romanian background from
Yeah.
my experience. Were you born in
Romania.
Romania? Were you born in Canada? You were born in Romania. Wow, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it. That's right. I was born in Russia. My listeners know. So that there we go. Eastern Europeans. There's a lot of memes out there on TikTok and shit of like Eastern European parents. And I'm telling you, it is the truth. These people and therapy do not
Oh, yeah.
gel.
Right. I
The-
think it's starting, but it's new.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So
And
get the right therapist, the right help, spiritual work, blend them all. It's even better if you blend them, but you need tools to help with the emotional work because when real emotions come up, it's really challenging if you don't have tools, if you don't have support, if you don't have someone holding safe space for you, if you're not contained well in a container wherever you're doing.
Mm,
It's really scary. People do. I've met people who, in psychosis and they don't come out of it. There's a couple at any psychiatric ward you go to. It's like they're not going to come out. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's good to be really energetically aware. That's how I'm
Yeah.
going to say it.
Yeah, I'm all about blending the two as well. I mean, hey, it's just nature of my preference as well and my life path, if you will, right? Being a spiritual neuroscientist and loving all things woo, but then bringing it back down to the nitty-gritty molecules. And speaking of that, so that recent paper, that whatever, it was like an opinion piece. The body does not keep the score. It's like this recent paper that got published in Frontiers. I haven't commented on it anywhere, but it's like, listen, that's an opinion piece, first of all. Second of all, it's in Frontiers, which is not the most prestigious journal. It doesn't mean that's not a good journal, it's not valid. It just means that it probably doesn't take as much rigor to publish in that journal as it
Mm.
does in places like Nature Neuroscience, right? Like I've been in the science field, so I know how that game works. So I'm just like, I just want to tell the listeners that listen, just because one published paper says the body does not keep the score, and then they kind of, give their opinion on the neuroscience of trauma and blah, 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 it doesn't mean that the body doesn't keep the score. Because I mean, listen, I'm into epigenetics and I'm clear that every cell has DNA and and our experiences shape the way that our DNA is expressed. And traumatic experiences shape which part of our DNA is expressed and which part is not. So in that sense, the body does keep the score. Literally, every cell of your body will respond to a traumatic experience. So that's, I don't know, if the body doesn't keep the score, how else can you call that?
Right.
Like every
From a
cell
counseling
keeps the score.
perspective, no, you coming with the genetics and the scientific from a counseling therapeutic perspective. The body remembers everything, and that's the gist of my work. We're like going into the body, and the body will remember things that you don't. You consciously, subconsciously shoved things away and trauma away because you couldn't, that just couldn't be dealt with at the time. But the body remembers. And
Yes.
that's where the disease comes from, because people, if they're not looking at those wounds and those feelings, then creates disease.
Exactly. And like I'm aware that the nervous system and the muscular system and the immune system, we're an organism. They all are interrelated. So I think you can't say that everything's governed by the brain or the nervous system, as well as you can't say that everything's governed by those kind of extreme statements really get me going, because I'm like, dude, we're like we're everything. And then there's the spiritual bodies and all the things that we can't quote unquote see, or most people can't, right? Like, but then they're there. Yeah.
100%. We're holistic beings. And yeah, for anyone out there who's looking for help or support, like find someone who's looking at the body holistically, the body, mind, soul, and all of it together. We're not one separate entity. We're multidimensional beings working in several dimensions at the same time. So it's
Mm.
good to be definitely aware of that.
Hmm. Totally. Well, listen, let's wrap this up. I like to keep them short. People's brain span, attention span, and also mum life, just mum life. Um, but thank you so much. And where can people
Likewise.
where can people find you? I know you're busy. I'm not saying, everybody, but listen, where can people find you if you want to be fat?
Well, maybe I don't know if I'll be able to post something under where you're going to post it, but just on Facebook, my name, Luiza Coman.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have a website yet. I haven't needed one for now. I'll work on it eventually, but yeah, my social media, Luiza Coman, and on Instagram, I'm Luiza.mentor. And yeah, get in touch with me. And I actually want to create an online program for single parents, single moms, but I'm not there yet, probably in the summer.
Oh
I'll
my,
be working on that. Right now, I'm really working on building my private practice, doing groups. I work with a lot of trauma and a lot of sexual trauma. And yeah, I want to create a group for moms, for single moms, to empower them, to support them, because becoming a parent is the hardest thing you'll ever go through. And then becoming a single parent, that's a whole other layer. And I feel like we really need support and to hold each other. That would be really good.
absolutely. That sounds like a very amazing and much necessary thing. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for the listeners, as always. And until we see you again.